I'm Haley, a new mom in her 30s after a long fertility journey, figuring out motherhood one snack break at a time.
And I'm Suzanne, navigating fertility after loss in my 40s while raising a teenager and still hoping for one more.
Welcome to Two Truths and a Hormone, the podcast where age gap meets egg counts
And real talk meets real emotion.
We're diving into infertility, womanhood, and everything the brochures forgot to mention. The truth is, it's messy.
The other truth, you're not alone.
And the hormone, well, she's along for the ride.
Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Two Truths and a Hormone. I am your co-host, Suzanne.
And I am your co-host, Haley. Welcome back to episode 9, everyone. Woo!
Yay! I am so excited that we have gotten this far, which I know it's 9 episodes, right? But that's 2 months. I mean, I know we did a couple double, but that's awesome.
Podcasts, they only go maybe I don't remember what the statistic was, but it was most in after the 5th episode. So we're already ahead. So there you go.
And we have a pretty regular viewing on YouTube. I think we're averaging 10 to 8 every week. So
really?
I know, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think we get more on YouTube than Spotify, which is, fine, whatever. But yeah, I checked yesterday and I think the first episode was 15 and then it was 12, but we've been pretty consistent in 10 to 8.
Awesome.
I know. I'm really excited. And considering but considering my husband subscribed to YouTube and still has yet to watch any of our, I keep asking him, I'm like, have you watched one? He's like, no.
Jake watched, listened to the very first and then hasn't listened to
Scott hasn't listened to any. And then our friend John is like, I listened this week. I'm like, John is a better husband than you, sir.
John's a great friend.
He is a great friend.
He's always supportive, so.
He is. Well, this episode, I think, kind of will involve you talking more, which is a good shift because a lot of times I kind of dominate. But I want to talk about nutrition because I know as you were going through your infertility and IUI and IVF, you got really into nutrition and made some changes. You are taking classes. I want, to hear more about that because I am right now one of your guinea pigs and I'm loving it. And just kind of talk about what you've done. We can touch base what I've done and kind of nutrition because I feel like we've talked with the Google Made Me Do It episode. There's so much out there geared towards help get pregnant, but none of it's really FDA regulated, things like that. So yeah, let's talk about what got you into, what made you decide to say, hey, I want to talk about get into nutrition.
Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of go back to what my nutrition and lifestyle looked like before that. So I kind of mentioned it on my episode where I talked about my fertility journey, but I did end up meeting with a nutritionist. So kind of I'll talk about kind of what got me to there. So growing up, I was always the skinny girl. In fact, there are multiple Haleys my age in my grade, and I found out that I was referred to as Toothpick Haley. I was.
Oh no! I was thinking skinny Haley, Toothpick Haley. That's awful.
Haley. Yeah. So I found out that that's how a lot of people thought of me. So I never struggled, and I ate whatever the heck I wanted. It was amazing. And then as I got older, and so I think I also mentioned that I was a Dr. Pepper girly, regular Dr. Pepper. I had at least 3 cans a day, and sweets all the time. It did not matter what I ingested. It didn't matter. I wasn't.
That is a nice problem to have for.
It was nice. Yes.
I'm sure. I know. My sister-in-law is super, super tiny, and to the point that she almost. I think it it's something that she's self-conscious about with comments and things like that. And so I'm really careful on oh, that's a nice problem to have, but coming from someone who just breathes air and gains 25 pounds, I'm that is a nice problem.
Yeah. I mean. Also, when you're that age, you're just your metabolism. I was also active because I was a baton twirler, so it just didn't really matter. But I mentioned that once I found out that I had PCOS, that's kind of when everything changed for me. That's kind of like when everything started clicking. Of course, like I had already been on social media, like searching things because at this point it had been like a year and a half into my fertility journey. And so I had already been, seeing things and people talk about how, obviously eat this and this and this for fertility or, do these certain things. And like a lot of things were I would see were about PCOS just because that is something that like a lot of people with PCOS struggle with fertility. So once I found out I had PCOS, it was just kind of like, I what do I do with that?
Yeah.
Because from like a medical standpoint, you're basically their option is birth control. Well, I had already been on birth control. I don't want to be on birth control because I'm trying to get pregnant. So it was like at this point, like, what do I do? Um, and so since I had seen like, okay, there's a lot of things you can do to kind of support that, to kind of reverse that, I was like, all right, I was like, that's what I have to do. Like, I have to try that. Like, at this point, I wasn't feeling good. I was tired all the time. Um, I was moody all the time. Like, my moods were crazy. Um, and, again, I was just eating sweets, like craving sweets nonstop. Like, and not just like a little bit of sweets, like an entire package of like Oreos almost.
Did
I
you
meant
have,
a
because
lot of
I
sweets.
I know you said like you didn't gain weight, like you were skinny in high school. Did you have any
Yeah.
like weight shift as you were doing like hormone, because you did,
Yeah.
letrozole and Clomid, all those things, like did that mess with your?
I don't think that did. I think because I was on birth control for like, I think 2 years once I got off of it. And I feel like once I got off birth control, it was like everything I had suppressed over those 2 years just like came out. And I gained probably 40 pounds within just like a few months. Like
Wow.
it was a lot of weight. Um, I didn't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I looked at myself, like I don't, you just don't see, like when I look back at pictures though, I'm like, oh, like my face was very round. Like you can really see the difference. And so that was like another thing. It was like, I've never struggled with weight. That
Right.
was never a thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, where did all of this weight come from?
And
Like,
how do I get
and
it
I
off?
also, yeah, like I hadn't stopped any of my eating habits, like nothing. Like the only thing that changed, I mean, it was COVID, so I guess technically I was moving less because I really wasn't walking. I was walking to the kitchen counter
Yeah. Yeah.
to get for work instead of like actually, but like other like hadn't been exercising before. I was still eating what I was eating. It's like the only thing that changed was like the birth control aspect. And so it was like I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I was like, all right, got to start nutrition step, got to figure out lifestyle, which is great, but how do you do that? Like, there's so much information out there. It's like, oh, you're supposed to eat this much, you're supposed to eat this much protein, you're supposed to, well, actually, you probably need this much protein, and like, oh, you need to work out 5 days a week. Oh, well, you can only really work out like a couple days a week. Like so much information and overload. And I was like, I don't know what to do with all of this. And like I had tried counting calories and but like still like nothing was changing. I was like, nothing is like working out here. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna see nutritionists. And I found out that my insurance actually covered nutritionist, or actually she was a dietitian. She's a registered dietitian. There's a difference, but um, so if you're interested in that, if you want to work with a dietitian or whatever, consider looking at your insurance to see if maybe you have some coverage there because
Yeah.
that really helped. But um, so I started seeing her, and it was great. I learned a lot. I lost the weight. I developed really healthy habits. I developed some habits that I maybe weren't the best, and I'll get into that. But like, she was able to provide me like, okay, like this is how much protein you should be eating. This is how many carbs. This is how much fat, and like this is how many like vegetables you should be having. And then it was like, okay, and this is how much you should be working out. Um, which was great. It was a great starting place. Again, I learned so much from her, and like she like it it changed my health. Um, I felt so much better. I was the strongest I had ever been because I had started working out. I developed a love for working out, which like what? Like I never thought I would ever be a person that would say, "Yeah, I enjoy working out. I enjoy lifting weights. Like I enjoy going
I
on
don't think
walks."
I've
Like
ever
that
gotten
was
to that point, even when I
yeah,
tried working out. I'm like,
it's
no,
crazy.
I don't
It's
like it.
crazy. Once you get to that point, you're like, "Man, I'm excited to go
Nope.
work out again." Like I know it's crazy. It's crazy. Like it doesn't make sense, but it's possible. It's truly possible. And so the the thing with the dietitians is like they are just solely focused on the nutrition. That's what they have the training in. I felt like some things were missing. I had also started diving into like learning about ingredients in our products. And that kind of flipped a switch in me. Like, oh, like I am putting on like my body wash, my shampoo, my lotion, perfume. Like I'm putting all of this fragrance on my body. Like literally everything I'm putting on my body has fragrance in it. Everything in my home has like I'm burning candles. Like there's fragrance everywhere. And then just like starting to learn about like the ingredients in like our food and things like that. And I wasn't getting that piece from her. She was just focused like on solely getting you like the nutrition you need, which is great.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciated what she helped me with. But I still felt like there was like other things that I needed to do for myself. So I started switching out products and things for myself. Another thing I didn't personally like now that I'm kind of at this point is that I was weighing my food and measuring my food out. Um, I think to make sure you are getting enough protein specifically, I think that's good because I think protein is super important. Um, but it started to be where like I can only eat what I have weighed out. And like also like, just how humans are like Jake would like I would portion out some chips and like Jake would take a chip and I'm like, do not take a chip off of my plate. Like I measured these out specifically for me. Like this is what I'm eating. And like I don't like that
Yeah.
because that felt very restrictive. And like if I was hungry after eating what was on my plate, I wouldn't eat anymore. And I don't like to me like if I'm able to identify like yes, I am still hungry and I do want more, I should be able to have more.
Right.
um, and so I think I kind of developed a little bit of an issue with that, and I still struggle with that some. I'm actively working on it. I've gotten better at it. I don't weigh my food anymore. So, and I eat intuitively. So that was another aspect that I didn't end up, I guess, really liking with working with a dietitian. Um, do you have any questions for
No,
this?
no. I mean, I totally get the weighing of the food. So I kind of have an
Yeah.
opposite end. Like, so when I was born, I was a preemie, and so I was on a lot of steroids, like at birth, and so, I mean, my earliest pictures that I can remember, like school age, kinder probably not so much, but probably like first I mean, I just ballooned up. I had the moon pie face, like I was just huge. My mom, her entire life had suffered with bulimia and anorexia. She did not know how to have a fat kid. Like, just kind of putting that out there. So there was fat shaming at school, there was fat
Yeah.
shaming at home, there was very like unhealthy kind of. And so I was 13 when I started Weight Watchers the first time. And I lost a ton of weight. I got down to like 95 pounds, and it was weird because
Wow.
like I had lost a ton of weight. Because I was like 138 at 13, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like from like it was. I was overweight. But like I lost weight and then shot up. And so like had a growth spurt. So then I was underweight. But then when I lost weight, there was, I mean, it didn't matter that I took my lunches. Like, she's not eating, she's anorexic. I mean, all the rumors at school started. But like, it was I didn't learn how to eat. Like, if I went to a party, and there was cake. I knew there was gonna be a party at school and there was cake. I would take my Weight Watchers frozen dessert and defrost it. Or if, we were doing like a luncheon at church and it was spaghetti, instead of just being mindful of that, I would take my lean cuisine frozen spaghetti and make it in the microwave. So it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily that I was learning better ways of eating.
Yeah.
And then, I got married. I gained weight when I got pregnant, lost a ton of weight breastfeeding, but was not eating the best, just kind of eating whatever I wanted. So then progressively gained weight. The highest I got was about 245. And then I did start Weight Watchers again and lost quite a bit of weight. I hit about 170 and then kind of plateaued. Um, and then kind of kept that off through my divorce, through meeting Scott, and then like gradually pounds would kind of creep up, got married. Really, the most weight I gained was after our first miscarriage because just kind of everything went out. But I never like really, it was very much weighing your food, measuring your food, counting your points, counting your all the different things. And I am very mindful of eating disorders run in my family. And I mean, I binged. I never purged, but I was a binger. Like I could stand in front in the pantry and eat for 10 minutes, and I couldn't tell you what I put in my
Ew.
mouth. So I think really all my life have had a very disordered way of eating and thinking about eating. I kind of have the opposite of you. Like I'll look in the mirror, and it's weird because sometimes I'm like, oh, I look okay. Like I don't look as big as I am, and sometimes I feel like I look massively huge. So yeah, so my experience with like nutrition was basically just Weight Watchers, right? I did after our first miscarriage start reading. It starts with an egg.
Yes.
Um, that I didn't finish it because then like I started reading it, and then I got pregnant the second time, so I was like, oh, I don't need to read it anymore, and then we
Yeah.
lost that, and then I just haven't picked it back up. But I remember like you had already started your nutrition journey, and I just remember texting
Yeah.
you like there is so much, but like the biggest thing that they started with is what we're putting in and on our body.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that like really all I've done to change things has been through trial and error through you. Like you've been the guinea pig, and I'm like, what did you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. 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 And I mean, like, to all that to say, like, I still don't eat 100% perfect, which I think is great. Like, I consider myself, like, the term is crunchy, like, when people who are, like, growing their own food, like,
Yeah.
100% eat super clean, like, all the things. So I call myself crunchy-ish because every once in a while, I like to go get a crunchy taco from a fast food restaurant. Like, I'm sorry, like, every once in a while, like, you just need a taco?
Yeah.
So, and like, I still, some of the things I have still have like, natural flavors, and I do my best the majority of the time. So that's why I kind of consider myself crunchy-ish. I feel like I found a balance where like the majority of the time it is clean. I try to do organic when possible, although it's freaking expensive. So like not everything is going to be organic because it's
Yep.
just outrageous
Yep.
right now. Um, I just do my best. And again, sometimes you need a taco. So I don't
So
but
when
yeah,
did you
that's kind of
switch
where I'm at.
from, or what made you switch from the dietitian to, because you did see a nutritionist, right? Like, did you switch or
Uh,
no?
no, she is I sometimes call her a nutrition.
Oh,
She's
okay, okay.
she's a registered dietitian,
So you
yeah.
started with
So
that, and then you just kind of made changes on your own through your
yeah,
research. Because, like, I know you switched to glass, non-fragrance,
yeah.
things like
So
that.
like I said, she was basically just the nutrition side. So she basically told me how to eat, how much to eat, and things like that, and like kind of, like how to work. She's also the one that she did tell me about the temp drop. So we've talked about that. So I got the temp drop from her. She
Okay.
told me to kind of like start tracking my cycles and things like that. And she was able to like recommend some supplements and things like that. That some of them I still take, some I don't. And then like just like switching out like all the products, like the glass and things like that. That was all my own research.
Okay. Okay.
There's a girl on Instagram that I found. It's Girls Who Eat. Um, she's she eats like really clean. So like, but she has a really good resource on her website. It's like an ingredient glossary, and she has most ingredients listed on there. And it tells you like if it's one that you like is clean, ones that you can like are okay to use every once in a while, and then ones that you should completely avoid. So like that resource has been really helpful. So if anybody's interested, I think I might be able to leave a link in like the notes of
Description?
the podcast, and I think you can
Probably.
too on YouTube. So I'll send that to you so you can add that. But like that has been a really, again, she's like 100% like stays away from natural flavors 100%. Like she is super like very clean eating. So take what you want from that. But um, she has been like a resource that I've really trusted. Um, and like has like she's like an Amazon store of like a lot of products that are some are expensive, but some are like more affordable options.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you do start eating clean or changing out your products, unfortunately,
It's
um,
insane.
they are more expensive.
It is
So
absolutely insane. I
yeah,
remember like talking to you because like I started more with like the big stuff, like my shampoo,
yeah,
my body wash, um, laundry detergent.
yeah,
One, it's just overwhelming.
yeah,
Everything. Because, like, even
yeah,
like your makeup, your toothpaste,
yep,
like so many things, right? That you don't think about. Your deodorant, like all these things. And then you go and you start looking for, the safer or cleaner options. And it's like, oh, my normal deodorant's $4. I can get one a quarter of the size for 35. And I'm
yep,
like, what is happening?
yeah,
And so, like, there
yeah,
are some things I haven't changed yet just because whether it be price, overwhelmingness, convenience, because
yeah,
it's not just me. There's Scott and Bella as well, and so
yeah.
it's like,
And it's also hard because like the tip is to like replace as you empty products, but then it's also like, okay, well, if I do that, what if the product I get, one, it's gonna be more expensive, but what if I don't like it? Then it's
hmm
like, then I just wasted that. And so it takes time. I mean, I started this back in, let's see, I started seeing the dietitian September 2022. So I probably started changing out my products January 2023. I have pretty much everything changed over at this point except my mascara. My mascara is really hard to get rid of. And my razors. Because if you don't think about
oh,
it,
I
like
didn't even think
there's
about
like
razors.
the strip on the razor.
Oh my gosh, I
And
didn't even
now
think
I'm,
about that. Don't
yeah,
put more
it's
in my head
literally
than you do.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just got to this point probably January of this year. And like, I've tried some mascaras and mine's a cleaner option, the one I use, but it's not 100% the best. And so like even then, like it takes time. So like and like it is overwhelming. It is, trust me, I know. And
Yeah.
I've gone through
Well,
several products that I didn't like and wasted my money on.
yep. We
So
changed our dishwasher detergent. I tend to have more glass for
yeah,
like leftovers and things like that, but like even for my lunches, I don't have enough glass containers.
yeah,
So like I'm
expensive.
I'm prepping my lunch for the rest of this week and I'm like I don't have enough containers. So I'm like, okay, well, what I can do, I guess, I have the like seal, the where it sucks the air out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's plastic, but then open it and put it on the plate that I'm gonna warm everything up on, so I don't warm it up, and because it's like I
Yeah.
don't even know, like it's just, and then like for me, like our kitchen's very small, so like storage space is small, so it's not like I can go buy enough glass containers for
Yeah.
leftovers in the fridge and for lunch and
Yeah.
all the things. My makeup, I haven't switched over. I've looked into it. It's just so I don't wear
My
makeup
makeup
very
was the last
regularly,
thing. I
and it's
I
so
changed the
expensive.
rest. Yeah, I changed the rest earlier this year, except my mascara. But
Like I still have candles that I've gotten that like Bella loves to burn, and I'm like, it's fine. Like we don't burn them often, but then at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's this balancing act of trying to find time, like the time to do it slowly and the money. And then there's also I get to the point of like, okay, I've done all this already. Can this just be enough?
yeah,
But like you and I have talked a
that's a
lot
lot.
about like I've changed over to you gave me the idea at Costco the grass fed hamburger patties that are third pound, and like I needed 2 pounds of meat yesterday, so I just took 6 of those out and
Yep,
defrosted them and turned it into ground beef and made
yep,
a lasagna at home.
that's my favorite. Like, and I, I don't know if it's I think it's about the same
Probably.
as, but like for me, like it's easier to defrost in the patty form, and like it's faster to defrost it. It defrosts more evenly than like actual like packaged ground beef. But I don't know. Yeah, that's one of my
Yeah,
favorite
I
dishes.
we
I
like
always pick up a package of those.
I do that. Yeah, all the time. We're having hamburgers tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, it's my last
Yeah,
three. I need to get more at
yeah,
Costco. So,
yeah.
like, I totally get it. Just it's so. And then there's like, why? Why is it so much cheaper to have the crap, right? And then
But that's why there is crap in everything because it's cheaper to make, and companies are making more money on it. That's why.
so you made all these changes, and then you were pregnant with Loden, and
Yeah.
decided that this was something you wanted to do for other people.
Yeah, so I learned so I'm currently going through the Nutritional Therapy Practitioner program. It's through the Nutritional Therapy Association or the NTA. I found out about this from some I guess influencer if you'll, on
Nothing wrong with
YouTube.
that.
Um, and so I looked into it because I was really curious. One of the one of the influencers that I had found out about it from, she has PCOS. So like she had already, I think, did a lot of like nutrition type stuff. So like she has like her own story. The other girl, she um she actually had a miscarriage a couple years ago, I think. And so it kind of led her into figuring out about this. And she was already like she like struggled with like binge eating as she was growing up. And so like she had already started like she had already been like a personal trainer, like things like that. But she talked about how she found this program as well, and I was like, okay, well, I was like, I'll look at it. Um, and it kind of had the pieces that I was missing from the dietitian.
Okay.
It's a like a more holistic approach to nutrition. Um, so I don't give like macros to clients. That's not something I didn't like measuring my food.
Which I love.
Um,
Like I love because thinking
yeah,
back to like when you and I met and kind of talked about my plan, like really the only thing like measurement wise was how much water I needed to intake.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
everything else was just kind of increase here, make sure you have protein before with your coffee, things like that,
yeah,
which was easier for me to kind of take in. And it again
yeah,
it helped with the get like yesterday. Usually we meet my in-laws on Sundays for lunch, and we went and I had a burger and tater tots, and like I didn't have the guilt of I didn't measure this put me out of my calories. Like I made sure to add, lettuce and tomato to have like the veggies, but like there it helped with the like because I mean I grew up very much like we did not eat anything but chicken breasts,
yeah.
like that, like white meat,
Right.
dark meat is bad for you, blah blah blah. And like I remember telling you, I'm like, I like chicken thighs better, like they taste better,
Yeah.
they're not as
And they have
dry.
amazing nutrients in them. So
Yes.
eat it if you want to eat
And
it.
so like I cook
Yeah.
with chicken thighs now
Yeah.
because like we are more likely to eat that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I mean it's still gross to cook,
Yeah.
but
Yes, I hate cooking. I would rather cook chicken breasts, but I like the taste better of chicken thighs for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, and it's also like a bio-individual approach. So like from like my dietitian standpoint, like she looked at like my height, my weight, and like where I wanted to be and it calculated my macros based on that. Um, which if somebody else that was the same height, about the same weight, and like everything, like she would give that same information to that person.
Mhm.
So it was a very like consistent among that. So like what I like about this is it's very by individual. So we like look at the person as a person, like what are their concerns right now, what are they willing to do, how much like time and commitment do they have to these things, and like really specifically think about the individual as a whole and what is going to work for them.
Mhm.
And then there's five foundations that we focus on: nutrient dense diet, blood sugar regulation, digestion, sleep, and stress. And so like they're all intertwined and everything like that. But like again, we look at those through the lens of the individual. So we look at like what they're currently eating, everything like that. And yeah, I and again, it's like a more holistic approach. So like a lot of it is like, the first thing you're going to do with client isn't going to be, okay, all organic. Like, that's not going to be helpful. Um, Obviously, like, it's better to eat that way, but that's not always going to be it. And so like, and we did like learn about some ingredients and things like that. So like, there are like some, um, like more like crunchy aspects to it. And so, but again, there's that balance of it, which is again me, crunchy-ish. I like the balance of it.
Yeah.
Um, I just remember once like I got figured out I had PCOS and like all the fertility stuff again, I was just so overwhelmed and didn't know where to start and just felt lost. And like, I don't want people to feel that way. I want to be the person that I needed in that moment
Mm-hmm.
where I was scared. I just had this new diagnosis that I didn't know what to do with. Um, I was already in a lot of like emotional pain, just everything I was going through. And I just know like I needed, again, the dietitian did provide me a lot of help. Um, but like I want to be that person. I want to be the person that like if somebody is struggling, like again, so like my focus is gonna be like I want to help women with hormone issues, with period issues, with fertility. Like that's where my heart is, and like because I've been there and felt that pain and that hurt, and like I just want to be that person for somebody to, and like I just want people to feel good. Like it's possible. I want people to love nourishing their body. I want people to love going on walks, like I said. Like, maybe they're not going to love weightlifting. Okay, that's maybe not for them, but I want them to find something that they love and
Mm-hmm.
like understand like how good they can feel. Because the thing is like also a lot of the things that I felt, like I didn't realize I was feeling that way until I started making these changes. Like your body becomes numb to a lot of the symptoms that you experience. You don't even realize it. And like people just don't know how good they can feel. And like I want people to feel that way because like I know how much it has changed my life. Um, again, I'm not 100% perfect. There's going to be ebbs and flows and things like that, but like I feel so much better than what I did prior to all of this. So that's kind of why I decided I wanted to do this. Um, it was really scary because this program started September of last year, and my baby was due in October.
I remember you almost didn't do it.
Yeah,
Like we talked
I
about
almost didn't
it.
do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I can handle doing this and having a baby and having a full-time job. Like I was like, that is really scary. And we were going through the sleep module like when he was a newborn. I'm like, I'm not getting any sleep right now. Like, and I'm just learning about sleep and like
How important
how
it
like
is.
how important it is, and I'm like, I'm dying right now. Like, I'm getting no sleep, and so it was just like that was just kind of like a funny thing of it. But yeah, I finish up. I graduate in September. It's a year-long program,
Oh wow,
beginning of
I did not
September.
realize that was already coming
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and I was required to have one practice client, which Suzanne graciously volunteered for. I do have two other practice clients. I went ahead and was like, oh, let me go ahead and do a couple more just to kind of get some more experience under my belt. And I have like one more big like project that I have to do. But yeah, we're wrapping it up, and
That's
I'm
crazy.
excited. I'm starting to now kind of think about like, okay, what do I want my practice to look like? I started that the other day, and so just kind of I'm starting to work on that. And so eventually, I'll announce to everyone that I'm taking clients, and so
And we'll
if
add
you're
the
not
link to
following
all
me,
of our descriptions, like
yeah,
Instagram, Facebook,
yeah,
everything. Because
yeah,
yeah, for sure. Because I
it's
mean, you are right on the feeling. Because it's funny. Because I've only been doing it a couple weeks,
yeah,
and it. I'll be honest, it's not even consistent every day because it's kind of what's going on in that moment. Getting back to work, I know will help kind of with that
yeah,
consistency. But like, I guess it was Saturday. I hadn't even told you because you had a lot going on this weekend. But I needed to go to Costco Scott was still asleep. I'm like, I don't want to make a pot of coffee. And one of the big things you and I talked about was you need to have protein with your coffee. Because I'm awful at breakfast. Usually my coffee is in the car on the way to work. Maybe I'll have breakfast once I get to work. Maybe. So what I've been doing is putting protein powder in my coffee, which has been great. But I didn't feel like doing that. So I was like, I'm going to grab a Starbucks on the way to Costco. It'll be fine. When I tell you I have not felt such anxiety in so long, and I thought back and I'm like, I have felt this way a lot, like getting into work and getting an email and it immediately set me off and like set the and I think it was the caffeine plus it was Starbucks, right? Because so it's going to be really strong.
I'm so happy you recognize that. Like just makes me so happy. I don't think you understand like how excited that makes me.
And I know part of it was Starbucks, right? Because Starbucks is so strong. Like maybe I wouldn't have felt as bad with just a cup of coffee without protein. But like I could feel it, and it lasted a long time. And I was already going through hormonal stuff, and like so it made everything worse. It made like the entire day until probably like 3 or 4 hours later, and I was like, and then another one was when we took Bella to go tour one of the colleges. We ran out of water. We were hot. We were grumpy. And Scott's like, we're going to go get tea from HTO. Like, because we had a 2.5 hour drive. I was like, that's fine. And so I splurged. I got my, sweet tea, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was drinking it like I normally do. And I felt so bloated and full that by the time dinner came to eat, I didn't want to eat. And I never realized, like, I couldn't figure out, I'm like, I'm not eating that much, but I feel full all the time. And it was from that.
Yes! Susan, I don't think you understand. And like, this is just in a couple weeks. Like,
yes.
So proud of you.
And that's not to say I'm perfect. Like, I still mess up and ebb and flow and all that. But I'm like, okay, well, those are things that I do realize. Oops, sorry. I do realize are playing a factor. So now, like, I make sure if I'm having coffee, it's coffee with protein, like, period, the end.
Yes.
Like you said, you're not going to come in and be like, you have to go all organic. I am a sweet and low girly. Like, that is what I grew up on with my tea. And so I put one sweet and low in my coffee with my protein powder. And that was something that I was like, I'm not stopping. And like, you knew that. You didn't even recommend it. Like, I'm like, I've tried the other sweeteners. Don't come at me about sweet and low. Like, this is what I do. But yeah, I did notice those, and I was waiting to tell you in person.
I'm just hearing like angels singing right now. Like I don't think you understand like how happy that makes my heart right now. Like I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you. I mean, and that's I it's not to say like, oh, I've lost all this weight. Like there are things like I still need to implement working out, and that's one thing like you and I have talked about, and that's a me thing. But I mowed this morning. That's my workout today. I'm working out tomorrow. I set up a walking pad at work to be more, because my job is very sedentary. But yeah, like just those two things, I'm like, oh, okay, so what I am doing, even if I'm not 100% all of the time, it's making a difference. Maybe I don't see it on the scale or in my waist yet, but there are things internally that I can feel. But yeah, like I had not felt like almost the heart palpitations. I'm like, why am I so agitated? And then I think back to like going to work like that and getting, a mildly, inconvenient email. And I'm like, yeah.
Yep.
So now we'll see when work starts if I still feel.
That's amazing.
But yes, so your guidance, but like meeting with you, and that was one thing, like, there was never like, you're wrong in this. Like, even when you touch base, you're like, have you implemented the workouts I recommended? I was like, no, I haven't. And it wasn't like to make me feel bad, but it was like, what do we need to take that off? Is that somewhere where you're not? Like, let's get to the root of like why you haven't. And it was ultimately, I was being lazy, right? I didn't feel like getting out of bed in enough time, or I made, XYZ excuses. But like there was never any shame in like what I ate, how I felt. Like you recommended certain prenatals. I'm like, hey, I already have a bunch of these. You're like, cool, that's fine. I'm gonna take these off. I've been doing the fish oil, those big old capsules, So I'm excited to see, because I know I was doing a lot of supplements before you and I met, and my AMH has grown a little bit. And so like just seeing, getting healthier weight and better eating and things like that, if that changes anything. But I really have enjoyed that time. I'm like so excited for you to like start your business, but I'm so sad because I'm like, no, I want to keep working with you. I want you all to myself.
I know. I'm excited. It's been a long year. It definitely has. And I am excited. You know, I hope that I have clients. I know that there have been a couple people that have shown interest, so we'll see how that
That's
goes.
awesome.
But yeah, I like just hearing like you saying that like makes me even more excited than I already was to work with
I'm glad I
clients. And
waited to
it
tell
like
you then,
it
because I
yes,
wanted to
and
tell
it
you in
makes me
person.
it just makes me feel like it works. Like
It
and
does. It
I
does.
just want you feeling so much better. And so I'm just really excited and I want other people to feel that way and understand that like it doesn't have to be perfect.
Well, and
But
I
there's
think
definitely things you can do to help you feel better.
with infertility and loss, you
Yeah.
feel like such a stranger in your body.
Yeah.
I mean, you do, right? Like, there's something that you want with your heart and soul, and your body's just like, whatever. Which I know that's not what it is, but that's what it feels like. And
Yeah.
will this help me get pregnant? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Like, we may never know, but I know this will help me feel more connected in my body. When right now, like for the past year, I haven't, right? Like if I could unzip my body and go in a different body, I probably would, just because I feel like my body has betrayed me in so many ways. And you've
Yeah.
probably felt something similar, maybe not exactly in the way I'm describing it, but just being able to learn to be comfortable in your own skin, and feel like it's doing what it needs to do, which really what it needs to do is take care of you and keep you healthy. And so yeah, so that's my ultimate goal with it. And I'm excited to keep working with you on it, even when you open your practice. I guess I'll sign
I know.
up. But yeah, I was really excited when you sent me like the pictures of what you're looking at for your website and stuff, because I think this
Yeah.
has been great for you. I think this has helped you connect with your body too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just like, I think we've also talked about it, like, there has to be a purpose for these things. And like, I truly think like if I hadn't gone through all this fertility stuff, like I wouldn't have gone to see a dietitian. Like
Yeah.
there wouldn't have been a reason to. Like I was trying everything to get my body to where it needed to be. And so like truly like I do think like that is part of the purpose of everything I went through is not only to get myself feeling great, but also to help others. And so I am truly thankful for that, even though it sucked. And I wish there might have been some other way to do that, but
I know, it's
it
like,
came
come
at this
on,
hard time of year.
couldn't you have gotten me to this point
Yeah,
without all the
yeah,
trauma? Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, so that's the story. My Instagram is Haley's Health Corner, so it's HALEYS and then Health Corner. So you can follow me there,
And let's
and
put the
we can,
links in on
yeah,
Facegram.
it'll
Oh
be
my gosh, Facebook and Instagram and
yeah,
YouTube, because I mean it's part of who we
yeah,
are. Okay, two truths and a hormone.
yeah, sure,
Okay,
yeah. I'll go. Do you
you'll
want to go or
go.
do you want
No,
me to
you go. What's your truth?
go? Okay. So my truth and my hormone are kind of related. So,
Same, all good.
I've mentioned the past several weeks that we've been doing a lot of decluttering. So the reason for that is because we listed our house for sale. Now, is it going to stay that way? I don't know. A lot of things going on right now. But as of right now, our house is listed for sale. But that goes into my hormone. I think I finally had my breaking point yesterday because since we got back from Colorado, like literally the day after, we met with
Mhm.
the realtor and we're like, all right, we're going to list in a couple weeks. And so we hit the ground running of decluttering and everything, and it's been nonstop. Yesterday we had our open house, and it's just everything I think just crashed on me and I'm exhausted. And so a lot of tears happened yesterday. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
you know, life,
I
life.
mean, and to also put in perspective of like what my mental state has been. A couple weeks ago, instead of putting strawberries in the fridge, I put them in a cabinet, and didn't realize it until later that evening.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
if you need to, that's kind of where my mind has been the past several weeks. So,
Well, I hope that, if y'all want it to sell, it sells and you find the house that you want. And if you change your mind and don't want it to sell and want to stay
yeah,
there, I hope whatever is best for y'all is what
yeah,
y'all decide to do. But yeah, same. My truth and hormone is kind of all rolled into one. So I started on Monday of last week. Sorry, that was my dog. And she ran into the door stopper. Oh my gosh. So sorry. I'm not even going to edit that out because that's hilarious. So started my letrozole Monday of last week, so Monday through Friday. Friday was my last pill. And I go today, this afternoon, for my mid-cycle follicle scan and to talk about like my improvement in AMH. And then I also had a mammogram that came back wonky, so I have to go next week for another one. So like my truth has been just kind of the spiral that all that has brought on, which then is the hormone, right? Because like I've, basically decided I have stage 4 cancer with like 1 week left to live, which is not the case. Right, I'm just bawling and crying and asking Scott, will you love me when I have to get my boobs removed and lose all my hair? And he's like, oh my gosh, like that's not gonna happen, but yes, I will love you. But so that my truth is just, it has been a week. And it was funny because I had a headache one day, and I don't know if I just slept funky or if it was the letrozole, but I thought for the most part, like, I was chill with this letrozole, and I'm pretty sure I got the mood swing part of it.
Yeah.
Because Friday and Saturday both were like, so I usually will have one day right before my period where I call it my rage day, where like Bella or Scott will do something and it just sends me into a rage, and they don't even know, but like I just like in my head, and I'm playing the conversation of what I would say to them, and then like I'm like, oh, my period's gonna start. Like I don't even take a pregnancy test. I know that I'm not pregnant because, well, I had that Friday and Saturday, and to the point that it ended up like I did say something because Scott did something that normally wouldn't hurt my feelings, and it hurt my feelings, and it turned into a thing, and I was texting you about it, and you made me cry because you were like, you are okay. You are not crazy. And I'm like, thank you, because I really feel crazy right now. So
it's a medication. Like, you're not crazy. It's
because it's been everything. Like I was texting you, this medication didn't work. I don't even have ovulation cramping. Everything is different this cycle, which is probably because of the medication. But yeah, my truth and hormone is just, it was a week. It was a week.
Yeah, I feel that. It's been a month for me.
I know. I start back to work tomorrow, and I'm sitting here. I legit am sitting here like, okay, if I have to do another cycle of letrozole, how am I going to work and not lose my job, like not get fired? But I think I can hold it together. We'll see.
You can do it. You can do it.
So yeah, so I have that follow up today, and then I go next Wednesday to see like the specialist radiology for my right boob. But yeah, that Monday, I got that letter Monday night, and that sent me into a spiral of just like, what else is my body gonna do? But
yeah, you got this.
Fun
times. For good news for all of it.
Yes, and same with you. And then next week, I'm not even gonna say Monday because I don't know when we're gonna record next week, but we do have to figure that out because I am no longer off on Mondays after today. But next week is gonna be our big episode 10. Oh my gosh. And we are going to do something fun. We are going to play a game of Would You Rather fertility. And I think that's going to be amazing and interesting to see what our answers are. So
yes, it's going to be a fun one.
Well, thank y'all for hanging out and listening to us. I hope you've listened to our other episodes. If not, go on back and listen to them. We are on Spotify and YouTube, and we have Instagram and Facebook, Two Truths and a Hormone, all spelled out. And then our email is twotruthsandahormone, again, all spelled out, at gmail.com. Comment, like, share, email us questions, anything you want. And then we are going to add to our descriptions on all that Haley's upcoming website.
Yay!
So yay. Well, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday, Haley, and a good week.
Yes, you too. Yeah, thank you, everyone. We'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.